these WVU football freshmen could contend for immediate playing time during the 2023 season. Let's go! What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads Webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder, if you would, hit that thumbs up button on this video. Giving it a like will really help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a WVU fan, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you, as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right. Despite the fact that this coaching staff now heading into year 5 has a bit deeper roster, they don't necessarily have to rely on true freshmen anymore, but there is at least a handful of true freshmen, or a couple more even, that could see playing time in 2023. I've got 6 names here for you guys that I think will play in 2023 for West Virginia. We're going to run through these 6 names, talk about each one a little bit, and I've got clips on 4 of these guys, some coach interviews and player interviews, giving compliments to some of these players that I think will make an impact here during this season. But let's kick it off. I've got a couple of defensive players on this list and then 4 offensive players. So let's lead off on the defensive side, starting with linebacker Ben Cutter. He's a guy that has been here since the spring. Both of these guys that we're going to talk about on defense actually enrolled early and participated in spring practice. So you've probably already seen them if you were following the Mountaineers throughout the spring or watched the spring game. And Ben Cutter is involved in that very prominent position battle that's going on there at the will linebacker position that we're all really keeping an eye on, because we know that's kind of the one spot that we're looking at there on the defense that really needs to be solidified heading into game 1 against Penn State, where you're going to be breaking in someone that's young there, whether it's Joffrey Veras, Trey Lathan, or here Ben Cutter is in that competition as well. And I certainly think whether he ends up winning that job or not, he's going to get some playing time throughout this season. My only concern with him when he came in, he was about 210, 215. But as you can see now on the official roster, he's bulked up to nearly 225 pounds. So I think he's now physically ready to contribute as a true freshman. And he has all the intangibles. The coaches have certainly raved about that since he got on campus. And I think he has a bright future and will play this season. And then we have James Hurd Jr., who throughout the spring I really raved about here on the channel as well. Myself personally, I think the coaching staff mentioned that he was one of the best pure pass rushers that they've brought in since they've been at WVU. And I think maybe the addition of Tyron Bradley here in the offseason, the transfer in from Abilene Christian, that's a little bit older and more experienced there at the banda position, has kind of overshadowed the talk about James Hurd a little bit. So now maybe he's flying under the radar, but I'm still expecting him to get plenty of playing time this upcoming season. I think he just brings a different element to the game that maybe Jared Bartlett and Tyron Bradley don't provide. So especially maybe see him used situationally, similar to how West Virginia used Bruce Irvin in his first year at WVU, maybe long distance, 3rd and longs, more obvious passing situations. You bring James Hurd in at the banda position and let him go to work there. But he's got great speed there coming off the edge, and I think we'll see James Hurd play as a true freshman. Now flipping over to the offensive side, where we've got 4 guys, and we're starting with one of them up front that I think has a great chance to end up on West Virginia's 2 deep, and that's an offensive lineman in Johnny Williams. I know you all probably heard Neil Brown talk about him when he committed, that when he went to his house to visit him, he took up the entire door frame of a room there. So just an absolutely huge player coming in as a true freshman already, 6'7", 307 pounds. He also enrolled early and participated in spring football, and I think that's what really gave him a leg up to be where he is now, probably ahead of where a lot of true freshmen are at this point. One, because of his physical gifted size there already, you know, that frame, as I said, 6'7", 307. But then, you know, getting here in the spring, he was really able to learn the scheme and learn the techniques that Coach Moore wants on this offensive line. And I think he's got a good chance to see a little bit of playing time here in 2023. But let's hear Matt Moore talk about Johnny Williams himself in our first clip here on this video.
Young guys, Johnny Williams, you know, that was here in the spring. Johnny's having a really good camp. You know, he's continuing to develop his body. You know, Johnny's one of those guys, his last couple of years of high school, they tore down the weight room and didn't rebuild it. He didn't have a weight room. Now his body has really changed. I mean, he's almost 6'7", he's 310 pounds, and he's, you know, just turned 18 years old. So he's got a chance to really be a special player.
So high praise there from Coach Moore, saying that Johnny Williams could potentially be a special player down the line, and we'll see how much playing time he gets this season. And next up, we've got Jaheim White. I'm not the first person to bring him up this offseason. I'm sure if you've been following West Virginia closely, you've heard a ton about this true freshman who really is going to be capable of making some home run plays for the Mountaineers this season. I think he's got a great chance to really provide some excitement for the fans to see on Saturdays. He's fast. He's twitchy. He can make big plays with the ball in his hands. I made a video on him previously already on the channel. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a card here for that already. In that video, I shared a clip of CJ Donaldson talking about how special he can be. But just recently, Justin Johnson, another running back in the West Virginia deep running back room there, had an interview as well. And he also mentioned how special he thought Jaheim White could be. Check out this clip.
His speed. He's fast. He's really fast. He's also shifty, and Jaheim's special. He's going to be special with the ball in his hands, and he's going to be a special player. I like Jaheim a lot. He's taking a lot away from all of us in the room, and he just picks and chooses what he needs, and he uses it to the best of his ability.
And that just falls right in line with everything we've heard about Jaheim White since he got on campus in the spring. We saw him lead the team in rushing in the spring game. And I think in a deep West Virginia running back room, he's still going to find plenty of ways to get on the field, starting right away in game 1 against Penn State. And remember, he's from the state of Pennsylvania. West Virginia's first 3 opponents on the schedule, all teams from Pennsylvania. So hopefully he puts on a show to start the season. Look out for Jaheim White this year, guys. And lastly, we have a couple of wide receivers to round out these true freshmen that I think will play, starting with Traylon Ray, and his name has really come up a lot since we've gotten deeper and deeper into fall camp, and I think he certainly is going to contribute this upcoming season. If you watched the most recent live stream we did here on the Country Roads Webcast channel, I shared a clip of Neil Brown talking about Traylon Ray and how he led the team in receiving yards in the first scrimmage here in fall camp, and that he thinks that he will play right away this season, or at least has a great chance to. Also, recently, wide receivers coach Bilal Marshall held a press conference, and he praised Traylon Ray as well. Listen to this.
Traylon Ray, where you think he should be, a little bit ahead, where is he right now?
He's about where I thought he would be. You know, when I watched his high school highlight tape, I think the kid has a chance to be special. He's a great kid. He works his butt off. He's very intelligent. He just has a knack for finding the ball. You guys are going to really like that kid when you see him.
So hearing it from his position coach himself there, another West Virginia true freshman that has a chance to be special in Traylon Ray. And I think that he will see playing time this upcoming season. And I think his playing time will only increase as the season goes along, to the point where at the end of the season, who knows how much involved he can be in the passing game. But I think he can be a weapon for West Virginia down the line, despite the fact that he's only a true freshman this season. And last, but certainly not least, you guys know who it is, the highly regarded recruit. Neil Brown has mentioned, one of the biggest recruiting wins of his tenure, top 15, I believe, highest rated recruits in West Virginia football history. So fans have been really excited to get this player on campus. And the things I said about Jaheim White being from Pennsylvania go for Rodney Gallagher as well for those first 3 opponents. And I think he's going to have a great chance to get on the field in the slot position and make some things happen. Neil Brown has had great things to say about him. He's bulked up since he got on campus. As you see, 5'10", 172 now. Playing quarterback, they were worried about his blocking. Neil Brown said he's ahead there. So I think Rodney Gallagher, just like his fellow freshman receiver Traylon Ray, is set to see some playing time this upcoming season, maybe starting right away in game 1, hopefully. But let's hear it from his position coach yet again. Here's Bilal Marshall, this time on Rodney Gallagher III.
Same thing with Rodney, and I think Rodney's a little ahead of what I thought he was going to be. For a guy that hasn't played the position for a long time, he really is starting to understand how to play the position. He has a knack for being able to get in and out of breaks. I knew he was quick. I knew he was twitchy. He catches the ball really well. And surprisingly, he's been a capable blocker, for a guy that's not as big as the others, because he's only 18 years old. He's not, quote unquote, I say he's not afraid to put his face in it. And what I mean by that is, if a linebacker or a nickel Sam or safety's running down his face, he's going to put his face right in and he won't turn his head. He's a lot tougher than I thought he would be, to be honest, because he's such a highly touted basketball player, and I mess with him all the time about that. But he's a tough kid, blue-nosed, hard-nosed kid, which I'm excited to watch him grow in the near future.
Awesome stuff there. And I love what I'm hearing about Gallagher's physicality, because we knew about the speed, we knew about the shiftiness, his ability with the ball in his hands, but I'm loving what we're hearing about his ability to be physical there, as you heard Coach Marshall say in that clip there. But there are the 6 true freshmen that I think will play in 2023, or at least could play this upcoming season. But what about you? Do you agree with these names? Is there someone I left off the list, or how do you feel about any one of these 6 players? Be sure, drop your thoughts there in the comments. We really appreciate the interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.